Question 3. What have you learned from audience research? Dennis McQuail, 1972, described audience as a temporary collective. I agree with this theory as it is a certain stereotype of person who come together as a group to similarly enjoy a product at the same time, but also for a short period of time, which is why we used digital technologies to speak to our audience, Hartley 1987, and to easily communicate with them through technological convergence, P.J. Fury 2004, and convergence culture, Henry Jenkins 2008. Our own audience of indie kids aged 16 to 25 years old in ABC1s would all come together or view our product at the same time because of a similar interest. This is one of the ways in which media products can create a community or global village. McLuhan. In our own music video, we created a sense of temporary collective by learning about what our audience liked and what their stereotypes were, and using them within the video through iconography and costume to create a sense of temporary collective. For example, we did research into our indie genre by looking at videos such as Ed Sheeran's A-Team, which has a very rough and ready vibe and has a homemade ideology, which our band also channels in our music video. From Ed Sheeran's A-Team, we learned that our imaginary entity in Ang liked black and white colouring on indie music videos to signify the genre and to make it look cheap and simple, which allows the audience to concentrate on the actual narrative rather than the special effects or colouring, etc. Another way in which we used the temporary collective theory to learn from our audience research was within our own peer group, because we are the right age and some of us are the right stereotype. This made it easier for us to edit the video without actually conducting regular focus groups. This is supported by Vivian Clarke's theory on it being difficult to carry out regular audience research. I agree with Vivian's theory because the product is constantly changing throughout the production and post-production stages. It is very important to gather good and reliable audience research so that you can go back to it rather than continuing to create new assessment groups regularly because of deadlines and because cultures and stereotypes are constantly changing, so to get the right group of people on different bases would be difficult to organise and construct. Luckily, we had people close to us who we could ask for feedback on our product, which we conducted via our own primary research through the web app SurveyMonkey to gather mainly qualitative data so that we could fully understand the reasoning behind the audience's responses to our ideas. We did this by asking questions such as, "Do you like our chosen song from Demographics collection?" To which we received positive responses such as, "Yes, the title even matches the narrative." We also asked the band's opinion of all the changes we made. We mainly received positive feedback from the band such as, "Looks good guys," which gives us positive reinforcement and reassures us that our work is suitable because although audience is very important from a fan perspective, it is even more important from the perspective of the client because they are the ones that benefit from the branding overall. What we learned from band feedback is how a brand can affect a band. For example, the band members didn't want any images of the gig tickets on a poster we made for one of their shows because they said it would be easy for someone to cut the image out and disguise it as a real ticket. This shows how products can have a direct effect on the marketing and distribution of a product and the brand name. In pre-production, we created an imaginary entity in Ang and also researched into media packs by magazines such as NME. This helped us greatly as working toward a specific person with a background story and knowing their likes and dislikes helped us to control our ideas. For example, we originally had plans to pastiche a While She Sleeps video, in which each stock character, Vladimir Prop, to clearly point out the narrative almost comically between the boys in the band. It was our imaginary entity piece that helped us in changing and developing our ideas on this section of the narrative, as we decided it wouldn't fit into our imaginary entity's common interests, as the indie audience usually likes a music video to have an intellectual pleasure, Rick Altman 1999, or that assume that the audience is knowledgeable. It also helped our group in the post-production stages of our work as we used Adobe Premiere CS 5.5 and more specifically the Razor tool to create a jump cut effect from narrative to performance, which is a coding convention of indie music videos because the cuts match the beat of the music. For example, we used jump cutting in the chorus scene to jump cut between shots of the band members and the narrative to show how they link together and also to fit with the beat of the music, which is a coding convention of music videos, Andrew Goodwin 1992. Using codes and conventions in this way, we learned about the codes and conventions that our audience likes and how we could put that into our own product while keeping the same homemade ideologies of the band's branding. Thornstein Veblen states that the introduction of a new technology in society can significantly change that society. This is also synergy. We agree with this theory because within our product we used new technologies to gain feedback on our progress and as a way of marketing and distribution to create synergy, such as the fact that we posted a lot of our photography and snippets of work on the demographic Facebook and Twitter pages, which is an ideal platform for our product as image-based media is very popular with our target audience and would most likely appeal to them, and the fact that we are using social media to gain feedback shows how technology and web apps developed that we can now use these sections of the internet for our own gain and work. This creates synergy because we use the band's distribution medium to distribute another product of the same brand. Another point to make about this particular section is that using these social media connected to the fan base was especially important for our group because the audience are arguably the most important group because they are the main consumers of demographics products and are the people buying into the brand.